I realized my marriage was slipping the night I walked into the living room and found my wife Emma smiling at her phone in a way she hadn't smiled at me in months. Not a polite smile, not a tired one, the kind of smile a person gives when someone else makes them feel wanted, desired, alive. She didn't hear me come in. Her thumb flew across the screen, her eyes glowing in the reflection. Then, like a switch flipped, she locked her phone and placed it face down when she finally noticed me standing there. "Mark," she said, startled. "You're home early." "Yeah," I replied casually. Traffic wasn't bad, but my stomach dropped because Emma never put her phone face down. Ever. She stood and gave me a quick hug, light, distracted, the kind you give an old acquaintance rather than your husband. I held her a second longer than she held me, and when she pulled back, I felt the familiar ache in my chest. She wasn't here with me anymore. Not really. I sat on the couch and watched her walk to the kitchen. Her steps seemed too quick, too rehearsed. She grabbed a glass, filled it with water, took one sip, and then set it down like she suddenly couldn't swallow. "Long day?" she asked, still avoiding my eyes. "Could say that," I answered. "What about you?" "Just work stuff." "Events?" "Meetings. Same old." She waved her hand dismissively. Same old, except nothing had felt same old in months. Emma used to come home bubbling with stories, rude clients, funny coworkers, little moments she wanted to share. Now, she said the bare minimum, ate dinner quietly, and found reasons to stay up late answering emails. I shouldn't have checked her smartwatch when she left it charging in the bathroom the week before. I shouldn't have looked at the sudden spikes in her heart rate at Tunze 4:02 p.m. and 11:17 p.m. On nights she claimed she was sitting in bed. But love makes you notice the things you wish you didn't. That night, I forced myself to act normal. After we ate, I joined her in the bedroom. She sat at her vanity, removing her makeup with slow, absent strokes. Her reflection in the mirror showed exhaustion, but not the kind work creates. Something, or someone else, was draining her. "You're quiet tonight?" I said. "I'm just tired," she replied automatically. "You've been tired a lot." She paused, her hand stilling on her cheek. "Are you keeping tabs on me?" "I'm paying attention," I corrected. "There's a difference." She sighed loudly like I'd become a burden she had to manage. "Mark, don't start." I didn't want to fight. But every time I took a step toward her, she took two back. Still, I tried. "Emma, are we okay?" She froze for half a second before plastering on a gentle smile. "Of course we are." But her voice cracked on the last word. We went to bed in silence. She lay facing the wall, her body curled away from me. I stared at the ceiling, my hand resting an inch from her back, wanting to reach out but terrified she'd flinch. Around midnight, I heard her phone buzz softly. She lifted her head, glanced at me, then slowly slid out of bed and tiptoed into the hallway with the kind of quiet a breaking heart teaches you. I followed. She stood in the kitchen, whispering urgently into her phone. "No, I can't tonight," she said. "He's away." "Yes, I want to." "I miss you too. Just give me a few days." My breath caught in my throat. She turned slightly, and I stepped back into the shadows before she could see me. 10 minutes later, she returned to bed, wiped tears from her eyes, and pretended to be asleep. I lay there motionless, the truth pressing down on my chest. She wasn't just drifting away. She was gone. Still, I said nothing. The next evening, after thinking through every possible way to save what was left, I decided to try one last thing. A gesture, a reset, something that might remind her of us, the version of us before secrets and half-truths. When she settled on the couch, scrolling through her phone, I sat beside her and cleared my throat. I booked something for us?" I began softly. She barely looked up. "What?" "A getaway. 3 days, a cabin. Just you and me. No work, no phones, no distractions." Her head snapped up then, but the look she gave me wasn't surprise or happiness. It was irritation. "Mark, no," she said sharply. "I can't just disappear for 3 days. I have responsibilities." "I checked your schedule," I said. "You're off those days." "That's not the point," she shot back. "I don't want to be stuck in a cabin with you right now." The words sliced straight through me. "Why not?" I whispered. She threw her hands up. "Because I need space. A break. Honestly, I could use a month away from you, just peace." For a moment, everything in me went still. A month away from me. A break from her own husband. But instead of falling apart, something inside me quietly hardened. I nodded slowly. "If that's what you want, I understand." Her expression softened slightly. Maybe relief, maybe guilt. But she didn't know she had just changed everything. She didn't know I'd already seen what she thought was hidden. And she definitely didn't know the kind of revenge a calm man could build when he finally stops begging to be loved. Emma thought my quiet acceptance was a sign I had finally backed down. She thought "I need a month away from you" would make me retreat, give her space to keep living, one life with me, one with whoever was on the other end of those late night whispers. But what she didn't realize was that my silence wasn't surrender, it was strategy. The next morning, she acted lighter, almost cheerful. She hummed while making coffee, something she hadn't done in months. She even wore lipstick on a casual Saturday, which told me exactly who she planned on seeing. When she set my mug on the counter, she didn't look at me. Mark, I'll be out for a bit today. Errands and stuff. Errands, the universal code for lies. Oh, need help? I asked lightly. Her smile was too quick. No, no, it's fine. I'll just be around. Right, I said softly. Around. She froze for a fraction of a second. Barely noticeable, but noticeable enough. Then she grabbed her purse, rushed out the door, and didn't look back. The moment I heard her car pull away, I went to the drawer in my office, the one she never checked. I pulled out the small, discreet GPS tracker I bought months ago but never had the courage to use. Not until last night. I placed it gently under the passenger seat of her car before she left, my hand steady, my heart surprisingly calm. I didn't want blind anger. I wanted the truth, clean, undeniable, unshakable. By noon, the tracker pinged her location at a boutique hotel 20 minutes away. No work events, no errands. Just betrayal dressed as routine. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Revenge loses its sharp edge when it's rushed. Instead, I went back inside, cleaned the kitchen, answered work emails, and carried myself like a man who had no idea his marriage was rotting from the inside. Hours later, she returned just before dinner. Her hair was freshly curled. She smelled like vanilla and a cologne that wasn't mine. Her lipstick was smudged like she'd wiped it off in the car. Long day, I asked. She hesitated. Yeah, errands went all over the place. Traffic was crazy. The hotel district always is. I murmured casually. She froze, her body stiffening before she turned, masking her face with a smile too slow to be real. What do you mean? I saw a post from someone I know. They were out near the boutique hotels. Made me think about that area. Her throat bobbed. Oh, right. Yeah. We both knew she was lying, but I let it dissolve into the evening air. That night, I treated her normally, gentle small talk, quiet jokes, nothing suspicious. She seemed relieved, like she believed I still didn't know anything. She couldn't have been more wrong. The next day, I prepared the first step of my revenge. Not loud, not dramatic, but precise. I transferred most of our shared savings into my personal account, legally, quietly, carefully. She had access to the shared one, but she never noticed anything beyond surface numbers. I canceled the joint credit card she always used for her work lunches. I also moved the title of my car, yes, the one she repeatedly claimed she barely used, into my name alone, making sure she wouldn't have leverage later. Every move was small enough to stay invisible, but powerful enough to matter when the real fallout began. At dinner, she barely touched her food. Her phone kept buzzing, screen lighting up with messages she didn't dare open in front of me. She cleared her throat. Mark, about what I said yesterday about needing space. Yeah, I asked, taking a slow sip of water. I meant it. I just think some distance would help us both. You want a month to yourself? I repeated calmly. I remember. I think it's healthy, she said, twisting her napkin. We've been smothering each other lately. I wasn't smothering her. Someone else was simply giving her what she craved in secret. Still, I nodded. I hear you. And I think you're right. Her face lit up, not with love, but with relief. Relief that I wouldn't fight for us. Relief that she could continue living her double life without disruption. I'm glad you understand, she said softly. Oh, I do, I replied. I understand perfectly. Later that night, she fell asleep unusually fast. Guilt, maybe. Or maybe she was tired from whoever she'd been with earlier. But I stayed awake, staring at the ceiling, planning. Not out of cruelty, out of closure. Because if she wanted a month away from me, she was going to learn what real distance looked like. Around 11:40 p.m., her phone buzzed on the nightstand. She didn't wake, but the screen lit up long enough for me to see the first few words of a message from Jay. Miss you already. Tonight was amazing. My jaw tightened, but my pulse stayed steady. Pain, when felt long enough, becomes strangely quiet. I didn't touch her phone. I didn't need to. I already had every piece I needed. At 1:07 a.m., I quietly slid out of bed, grabbed my pre-packed bag, and stepped into the hall. It wasn't dramatic, no slamming doors, no shouting, just a clean break. But as I reached the bottom step, I heard movement behind me. Mark. Her voice shook. She was crying. I didn't turn around. Where are you going? She whispered. I stayed silent, and that silence was the first part of her consequence. I didn't answer right away. I just stood there in the dim hallway, my hand resting on the doorknob, the house silent except for her unsteady breathing behind me. Mark, please, why are you leaving? Emma's voice cracked in a way I hadn't heard in a very long time. Talk to me. For months, she had been the one creating space between us. Now that I was finally giving her what she asked for, she suddenly wanted answers. I turned slowly, meeting her tear-filled eyes. She clutched the door frame like her legs wouldn't hold her. Her hair was messy, her face streaked with panic. The confident woman I'd watched walk out earlier, replaced by someone afraid of losing her safety net. I'm just giving you what you wanted, I said quietly. You said you needed a month away from me, so I'm stepping back. Simple as that. That's not what I meant, she whispered. You're twisting it. I didn't want you to just disappear. You didn't want time away from me, I asked softly. I just needed space, she insisted, wiping her cheeks. I tilted my head. Space to do what, Emma? Her jaw clenched. Her eyes flicked away. She didn't have an answer, because any honest answer would expose everything she'd been hiding. I'll be staying at my brother's place for a bit, I said. Don't worry about me. She hugged her elbows like the word brother had stung her. You're leaving without talking to me. We can't fix something when only one of us thought it was broken, I replied. You made your choice long before tonight. She allowed a shaky breath. Mark, you're scaring me. What's going on? I finally stepped closer, studying her face. The confusion, the guilt, the fear. And I knew what terrified her wasn't losing me, but losing the comfort I provided, the stability, the husband who paid attention even when she drifted away. But I wasn't that man anymore. Mark, did something happen? She whispered. Yes, so many things happened, but I wasn't going to hand her the truth wrapped neatly on a silver platter. She had made her choices. Now she would feel their weight. You should get some rest, I said instead. It's late. I walked out the door before she could say anything else. Her quiet sobs carried into the night, but I didn't turn back. Sometimes the loudest revenge is simply choosing yourself. My brother Jason opened his door with raised eyebrows. You're here at 1 in the morning. What happened? I just need a place to stay for a few days, I said. Is the guest room free? He nodded without asking more. I was grateful. Jason was the kind of man who didn't pry until someone was ready. I dropped my bag in the room and sat on the bed, exhaling for the first time all night. The weight of the house, Emma's lies, the emptiness, it all pressed on me in slow waves. I checked the GPS tracker on her car. She'd been home since 10:00 p.m. with no extra stops, no late-night meetups tonight. Not after she saw me leave. The next morning, she called, then again. And again, I ignored every call. She texted next. Please come home. We need to talk. I'm scared. Mark, please answer. I set my phone face down, the same way she'd been doing for months. By the afternoon, she stopped. If you're punishing me, please stop. At least tell me what I did. I almost laughed. Bitter, tired, she didn't even realize what she'd done, or maybe she did, and she just hoped I didn't. Jason stepped into the room. You want coffee? Breakfast. Coffee's good, I said. He hesitated before adding, whatever's going on, just know you don't deserve to be treated poorly. Not by anyone. I nodded. He didn't know the half of it yet. That evening, while scrolling through receipts for work, I opened the shared cloud account, mostly out of habit. New photos had synced automatically without her realizing. My stomach tightened. I clicked. A picture came up. Emma in the very outfit she wore yesterday, standing in a dim boutique hotel hallway with a man whose face was conveniently cropped out, but whose hand was wrapped around her waist. It wasn't explicit, just enough to confirm everything I already knew. My fingers curled into the bedsheet, not from rage. Rage was too easy. From betrayal, so deep it felt like a physical bruise. Another photo synced, this time a mirror selfie, her smile unmistakable, her hair tousled, her lipstick half faded, his reflection blurred, but undeniably male standing behind her. I closed the laptop slowly, not out of shock, but out of clarity. Crystal, unmistakable clarity. She had taken those photos within the time frame she told me she was running errands. The pieces weren't pieces anymore. They were a full picture. And that picture was ugly. My phone buzzed again. Emma calling, crying, begging. This time I answered, but I didn't speak. I let her cry, let her voice shake, let her feel the panic she'd thought I never would. Mark, please. Just tell me where you are, please. I finally spoke, one sentence, calm and steady. I'm exactly where you pushed me. And I hung up. The real revenge hadn't even started yet. Emma called again the next morning, her voice sounding smaller, more fragile. Mark, please. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I don't know what's happening. I didn't respond. I let the silence stretch until she broke. Just tell me what I did, she whispered. But the truth was she already knew. I ended the call and drove to the house that afternoon. Jason offered to come with me, but this was something I needed to face alone. Calmly, decisively, not emotionally. When I walked through the front door, Emma was sitting on the couch. Knees pulled up to her chest, hair messy, eyes swollen. She looked undone. The moment she saw me, she shot to her feet. Mark. She almost stumbled toward me. I thought you left for good. I thought I told you, I said quietly. You wanted space. I'm giving it to you. She grabbed my arm, desperate. Don't say that. Please. Whatever this is, we can fix it. Just tell me what I did wrong. I gently removed her hand. You didn't do something wrong, Emma. Hope flickered in her face. Then why? You did something unforgivable. I finished. Her lips parted. A dry breath escaped. Mark, no. What are you talking about? I walked to the table and set my laptop down. The screen lit up at the synced folder, the hotel hallway photo, the mirror selfie with the man's reflection behind her, her lipstick smudged, Her hair tousled, her smile real, the one I hadn't seen in months. Emma's entire body went rigid. She covered her mouth, stumbling back as if the images physically hit her. No, no, Mark, please listen. This isn't what you think, really. I asked softly, because it looks exactly like what I think. Tears streamed down her cheeks. I swear it was a mistake. I was confused. I've been stressed. And he just. I raised a hand. Don't insult both of us with excuses. She sank to her knees, sobbing. Mark, I love you. I'll do anything. Please don't give up on us. Funny, because a week ago she wanted a month away from me. Now she was terrified of even a day without me. But I wasn't here to scream. I wasn't here to throw things, demand explanations, or give her closure. I was here for clarity and consequence. I took a slow breath. I didn't come to fight. I came to tell you what happens next. She looked up, trembling. Please, please don't leave me. You left us first, I said gently. I just didn't know it yet. I pulled a folder from my bag, one I prepared after leaving the house. Inside were separation documents. Not divorce yet, just legal distance. A cooling period that would freeze our finances, freeze our shared accounts, and freeze her access to my resources until decisions were made. Her eyes widened. Mark, don't do this.
Please?
You asked for a month away. I set the folder in front of her. You're getting exactly that, legally. She shook her head violently. No, I didn't mean from you. I just meant from the stress, from everything. I still love you, please. If you loved me, I said, you wouldn't have handed your attention, your effort. She sobbed harder, clutching the edge of the couch. I can change. I will change. I'll do anything. Just don't walk away from me. I stood, quiet, steady. You told me you needed a break from being my wife, I said calmly. And now I'm granting you exactly that, for the amount of time you asked for. She crawled toward me, grabbing my leg. Mark, don't go. I'm begging you. But her begging came too late, months too late. I gently stepped back, picked up my bag, and walked to the door. Take the month, I said quietly. Think about what you want, because I already know what I deserve. And I left her there on the floor, crying into her hands, realizing the man she'd taken for granted wasn't waiting anymore. This wasn't a revenge built on anger. It was revenge built on finally choosing myself, and that, for the first time in months, felt like peace.